Have you ever wondered why narcissists act the way they do, causing pain and chaos in others' lives? This question is more than just amusing. It's a journey into the complex and often misunderstood world of narcissism. Narcissism is more than just an inflated sense of self-importance or a love for one's own reflection. It's a term rooted in psychology, specifically referring to Narcissistic Personality Disorder, or NPD. This is a mental condition where individuals have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. But behind the grandiosity and self-centeredness, there's more to narcissism than meets the eye. Some of the common traits associated with narcissists include a lack of empathy, a sense of entitlement, and a tendency for manipulation. They often exploit others without guilt or shame, and are frequently preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. Yet these traits often remain hidden behind a charming and charismatic facade. Narcissists are masters of illusion, adept at presenting a likable image to the world. They know how to be charming, persuasive, and engaging, often drawing people into their web with their charisma. This facade serves as a perfect mask, hiding their true nature from those around them. However, this charming exterior often conceals a fragile self-esteem, vulnerable to the slightest criticism. They can be quick to anger if they feel slighted or ridiculed, and their reactions can be disproportionate and aggressive. So, why do narcissists behave this way? It's not out of spite or malice, but rather a desperate attempt to fill an inner void. They're driven by a constant need for validation and admiration, to affirm their self-worth and to fill the emptiness they feel inside. To better understand why narcissists behave this way, we need to delve deeper into their psyche. This is a journey that takes us beyond the surface into the hidden depths of the narcissist's mind. It's a complex and often disturbing world, but one that can provide valuable insights into the nature of narcissism and its impact on those around them. Consider the case of John, a high-functioning executive with a dark side. On the surface, he's the epitome of success, confident, charismatic, and seemingly compassionate. However, behind closed doors, a different persona emerges, revealing a pattern of behavior that is manipulative, controlling, and emotionally damaging. John's family lives in a constant state of tension, walking on eggshells to avoid triggering his volatile temper. His wife and children bear the brunt of his narcissistic rage, a destructive emotional outburst triggered when John feels threatened or slighted. The family's home, which should be a haven of safety and love, has become a battlefield filled with psychological warfare. John's need for control is insidious. He manipulates his family's perceptions of reality, a tactic known as gaslighting. He'll deny saying or doing things, even when confronted with concrete evidence, causing his family to question their own memories and sanity. This is a classic narcissistic strategy, aimed at making the victim doubt themselves, thus making them easier to control. Equally chilling is John's inability to empathize with his family's distress. He seems incapable of understanding or sharing their feelings, instead viewing their pain as a sign of weakness. This lack of empathy is a cornerstone of narcissistic behavior, demonstrating a shocking disregard for the emotional well-being of others. John also displays a constant need for admiration. Despite his abusive behavior, he expects his family to praise him, to admire his achievements, and to reaffirm his superiority. Any perceived criticism or lack of adulation is met with retaliation, further escalating the cycle of abuse. John's story illustrates the complex and often destructive patterns of a narcissist's behavior. His case is not unique, but rather, it serves as a stark reminder of the emotional toll that narcissistic abuse can inflict on its victims. It's a sobering look into the mind of a narcissist, highlighting the need for understanding, recognition, and action in the face of such devastating abuse. So, what drives a narcissist to behave this way? Well, the psychology behind narcissistic abuse is complex and multifaceted. It stems from a cocktail of deep-seated fears, low self-esteem, and an insatiable need to feel superior. These factors intertwine, creating a perfect storm that fuels the narcissist's manipulative behavior and lack of empathy. Let's start with the fear of abandonment. This is a profound, almost primal fear that lurks in the shadows of a narcissist's psyche. It's a fear that they may be left alone, ignored, or deemed unimportant. This fear is so overpowering that they will often go to great lengths to ensure they are the center of attention, even if it means causing harm or distress to others. Then, there's low self-esteem. Despite the high and mighty exterior, narcissists often grapple with a fragile sense of self. They constantly seek validation and approval from others to keep their self-esteem afloat. This need for constant reassurance can lead to manipulative behavior as they try to control how others perceive them. Lastly, there's the need to feel superior. Narcissists crave power and dominance. They want to feel superior to those around them, and they'll often manipulate and belittle others to achieve this. This need for superiority is so entrenched, it often overrides any capacity for empathy. They simply can't put themselves in another person's shoes, because to do so would mean acknowledging that they are not, in fact, superior. These psychological factors all feed into each other, creating a cycle of fear, manipulation, and lack of empathy that characterizes narcissistic abuse. The narcissist's actions are driven by their own insecurities and fears, rather than any genuine desire to harm others. Understanding these psychological factors can help us recognize and respond to narcissistic abuse. It's not about blaming or demonizing the narcissist, but rather understanding the roots of their behavior. This understanding can empower us to respond effectively and protect ourselves from further harm. So remember, knowledge is power. It's your first line of defense against narcissistic abuse. How can you protect yourself from narcissistic abuse? This is a question that many ask, and the answer lies in recognizing the signs and responding effectively. Narcissistic behavior can be subtle and manipulative, making it hard to identify. However, some common signs include a grandiose sense of self-importance, a constant need for admiration, a lack of empathy, and a tendency to take advantage of others. Narcissists often twist reality to fit their narrative, making those around them question their own perception. This is known as gaslighting, a common tactic in narcissistic abuse. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards protecting yourself. But what's next? How can you respond to narcissistic abuse once you've identified it? Firstly, it's crucial to set boundaries. Narcissists thrive on control and manipulation, so establishing clear, firm boundaries is a powerful way to reclaim your autonomy. This could mean limiting contact, deciding what topics are off-limits for discussion, or defining what behaviors you won't tolerate. Remember, it's okay to say no, and it's okay to prioritize your needs. Next, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists and counselors who specialize in narcissistic abuse can provide valuable insights and coping strategies. They can help you navigate the complex emotions associated with this form of abuse and guide you towards healing. Lastly, practice self-care. Narcissistic abuse can take a significant toll on your mental and emotional health, making self-care paramount. This can include anything from practicing mindfulness and meditation to pursuing hobbies that bring you joy, to ensuring you get enough sleep and eat a balanced diet. Self-care is about nurturing your well-being and reinforcing your strength and resilience. While it's challenging to deal with a narcissist, understanding their psychology can empower you to protect yourself and seek the support you need. It's about standing your ground, seeking help when necessary, and remembering to look after yourself. After all, you are your own best advocate. Let's recap what we've learned about the psychology behind narcissistic abuse. We've uncovered the hidden face of narcissism, examining traits such as an inflated sense of self-importance and lack of empathy. We've delved into the psychology that fuels their abusive behavior, using a real-life case study for context. Lastly, we've explored strategies for recognizing and responding to such abuse. Remember, understanding the perpetrator's mind is the first step towards healing from narcissistic abuse.